start again. It's a rich thing.
What's up, y'all? This is Tasha. Thank you so much for stopping in to my channel. Welcome. If you are new here, welcome back. If you have been here before, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you are here and you are enjoying the content. We are here for another episode of The Never Ever Met, Season 1, Episode 3. And yeah, we 3 episodes in, and I still don't know how to feel about this show. I don't know how to feel about this show. It's just like something is missing. Something ain't giving me what it's supposed to have gave. There's still a lot going on in one episode where it just feels so disconnected. The storytelling is just not coming together with how they have edited and pieced together this show. I don't necessarily like it. That's all I can say for now. I don't even know if I like the vibe of everybody being in one house. I almost would rather them have their own separate spaces so that they can get to know each other, and then they can have them come in together for, different games or activities that they want them to do, but have them be able to separate to truly get to know each other. Because I feel like, while I guess it keeps the mess going, they all in each other's business when you need to be focusing on the person that you've been talking to for months or years that you have never met in person. But I digress, y'all. Let's talk about this episode because it really wasn't a ton going on, in my opinion. The episode opens up with Shay and Josh in the boom boom room. Y'all already know what happened if they in the boom boom room, okay? Aaron and Diamond, they are talking to Brandon and Sienna. As for some reason, Aaron thinks because he's the eldest person there, he has a responsibility to kind of guide the couples. But nobody left you in charge, Aaron. You are 50 plus, and not in a stable relationship, in my opinion. But okay, let's let the blind lead the blind. But they talk about their communication. Sienna just keeps over talking Brandon. Brandon starts to shut down because he cannot get a word in. She realizes that Brandon laughs a lot. Don't know if it's this nervous laugh that's going on. He does do it. It's taken the wrong way by Sienna. Child, their communication is just all over the place. They only 10 months in. Y'all are not deep enough in where you have to really continue to fight for this. Just let it go. Let it go and go your separate ways. And Brandon, you find somebody in Florida. Sienna, you find somebody in New York, and everybody lives happily ever after, okay? Diamond asks if they even like each other. Sienna says, yeah, we can kick it. So y'all friends. Y'all don't really like each other romantically. It is just friend zoning. But Brandon says he wants to get to know her a little bit more. There's still a chance for a connection because it was so strong online. But when you ask everybody else in the house, don't nobody else see it for them, and I don't see it for them either, okay? We then see Aaron H. and Greg are outside talking, and they are talking about the other Aaron and Jody, how they don't see a connection between the two of them either. None of us do either, okay? They are just here for a vacation. Josh then joins them outside. They talk about the boom boom room, basically how they're going to have a little sign-up sheet or something because Josh and Shay are going to take it over. We see that Brandon makes dinner for the house. They eat. Diamond gives them a game, and it's a game where they are basically like senior superlatives. They're asking questions and then tying that to the couple that most matches the question. Where the first question is, which couple is most dramatic? Sienna and Brandon, unanimous by the group. Okay. They say, which group could benefit most from couples therapy? Sienna and Brandon, yet again. But Aaron H. also says Jody and Aaron because, they just don't ever see them together. So maybe that will bring them together. Jody says she don't need to be all up in his face all the time. She don't want to force anything. It will happen on its own time. Not when y'all ain't spending time together. Not when y'all not interested in each other. It's not going to happen. They ask which couple is the most romantic. Shay and Josh wins, with Chris and Sandia a close second. And then while they're going through this, Aaron H., who is Diamond's Aaron, says that he thinks Jody likes Chris. And After he said it, I couldn't unsee it. And we saw examples throughout the rest of the episode as to she don't want her man. She wants Sandia man. They asked which couple is the most in need of the intimacy suite. It ends up being Millie and Greg. Which couple is least compatible? Sienna and Brandon. Which couple argues the most? Sienna and Brandon. Which couple is most toxic? Sienna and Brendan. Congratulations, you guys win the prize. Taronda then walks in. She lets the couple know that they will be bringing a family member or a friend there to meet their significant other. So the next day, the group is having little game time. They're playing a game, which almost looks like a version of charades. Brandon's friend Matt then comes in. He's able to meet Sienna really quickly. And then Sienna goes back to the group, and then he and Brandon go outside. He tells them that he and Sienna has been beefing a lot and that she called him a witch. He asks about basically his plans for the future, and Brandon is like, to never say never, which means I don't see it for her. What we have is not going beyond this house, but I just can't say that right now in front of these cameras on this TV screen is what it is. Shay and Josh, they then talk to Aaron and Diamond outside, and she asks Shay and Josh, where they are. And they say that, they have talked about getting married. She asks about the baby, because of course, y'all know Josh has a 3-year-old, but yet they've been together for 12 years. The math ain't mathing, okay? But she says, he told her about the baby. She got over the baby, and it is what it is. And the more I see Josh, especially in his confessionals, I am almost 100% convinced he is fresh out of jail. He has to be fresh out of jail, and that baby was a fresh out of jail baby. I could be wrong, but the way he sits in the confessional, it's giving. I watch a lot of jail shows, and it's definitely giving penitentiary vibes, just for me, okay? Next up is Sienna's friend Gigi. She shows up. She says they've been friends for the past 5 years. She meets Brandon and the other guys as well before they go outside. She tells them that they've had arguments because he thinks that she is overly emotional. And then she tells him that the previous night, Brandon spoke to another woman in the house about her, and that made her upset. And of course, her friend Gigi is like, I don't even like him already. But girl, you omitting some parts of the truth here. Like, you not telling your side of the story as to why he is now acting like this, or why he was then talking to Millie, and that you were talking to Greg as well. Like, don't just tell your friends part of the story to make you look good. Tell them everything so that they can then give you real feedback and advice as to how you should move based on all the facts of the story. Like, you just want to make Brandon look bad at this point. Her friend asks if she wants to get physical with him. She says if they can get back to where she felt when they first met. Haven't they only been there like 3 days? So that is you acting like it's been 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. It has not been that long since y'all met each other face to face. And y'all have already lost the spark that supposedly was there for 10 months of online dating. If it ain't there now in person, it ain't there, which is reason number one why you should not wait months or years to meet somebody that you met online, because the phone conversation and connection does not always translate to the in-person from someone who has done a lot of online dating. Trust me, I know. All right. But Gigi says, but no, Sienna says that Gigi has helped her refocus a little bit. She wants to get to know Brandon a little bit more. She hopes that he will continue to get to know her. And her friend then basically gives her the advice of go to Pound Town and see how that works out. Please don't. Please do not. Y'all don't need to smash, because the last thing y'all need to do is smash that makes you happy and gives you all the feels. And then 2-3 days later, we are back in the same situation we're in. And that vicious cycle just continues for the rest of y'all relationship. That's toxic. Okay. So we then see Aaron and Diamond in the hot tub. The rest of y'all better enter at your own risk after them, okay? We see Diamond FaceTime her daughter, who I think was 19, and she's updating her on who Aaron is in person because she's like, essentially, if I'm with you, I'm with you, and that means my kids is with me and with you too, okay? But she tells him that he is really sweet and she's still feeling him. Greg and Millie are next up to get their turn in the hot tub. Child, she is in there sitting on his lap, and she keeps talking about how she want to take things slow. And I'm like, Millie, girl, this ain't the way. This ain't the message that you sending of taking it nice and slow, like Usher said. This is giving him the vibes of, I might be down. If you try, I just might be down. And speaking of which, he tries. He at least tries to go in for a kiss. And as he's going in for the kiss, she acts like she's running away from the kiss. And again, I'm not understanding that you haven't seen this man ever, and it's been years. How are you not attractive and at least want to kiss him? I I'm having a hard time. But Greg says he appreciates Millie making him work for it. Again, it's been 2 or 3 days. How much work are you doing for it, sir? Okay. All right. So the ladies are talking in their room. Millie is updating them on her and Greg in the hot tub. She tells them, it was a little bit awkward. She really wants kind of their romantic connection just to organically happen because she wants something that's really real and stable. She says it's really not about, just getting in my pants. And I said, Millie, girl, if it was about just getting in your pants, y'all only live 30 minutes away from each other. He would have made the trip to get into your pants years ago. It's only 30 minutes. If that was his MO, a man will find a way. And he would have done that already, girl. I'm just saying, okay? So now all the couples are in the kitchen again. They're making drinks. They're just talking. Chris is really feeding into this whole Jody crush and is saying that, she is one of his favorites in the house. And poor Sandia is just sitting over there like, that's my man and I'm going to stick beside him. Okay. So now Diamond and Aaron, they packed a little spend the night bag and they go into the boom boom room. Diamond says that she has made a promise to, Sky Daddy upstairs to save herself until marriage. Well, girl, why is y'all going to the boom boom room? Again, mixed messages, because I don't know if that's the place you should go if you don't want to do any of those Kama Sutra positions. Okay, all right. But they get to the room and they gossiping about the other couples. This is not what the room. I hope y'all change the sheets, but this is not what the room is for. Okay. Back in the house, we see Jody and Chris are flirting with each other while Aaron really don't care. I think he fell asleep at one point at the table. And Sandia, you can tell she's getting annoyed and aggravated, but she won't say anything to him because she doesn't like confrontation. Back in the boom boom room, we see that Aaron is massaging Diamond's feet and legs with his black fingernail polish painted nails. Okay. And then what I didn't need to see, I saw where he's going to town, sucking on her toes like it's an ice cream cone from Chick-fil-A. I could have gone my entire life and not seen that. But Owen decided we needed to, so I digress. Jody and Aaron, they get into it a little bit because he asks for like a sip of her drink. Y'all know he doesn't even drink. She calls him a 6-year-old. I'm like, girl, this man ain't even really starting with you. Why are you starting with him? But then my bae said she basically just started an argument for the heck of it. So she can basically be like, I don't got to worry about him and I can freely flirt with Chris because we all know, again, Sandy not going to say nothing. And if she did, Jody would probably be like, and what you going to do about it? Nothing. And she really is going to do nothing. We didn't see Shay and Sienna. They are talking about her and Josh's potential wedding and who would be in it. Okay. They then talk about the Kama Sutra activity with Brandon and Sienna. And she is really holding on to the comment that he made about, I felt like I'm about to watch TV when she was sitting on top of him. And I don't know why she just can't communicate with him regarding that. It's like she would rather flip and be upset rather than just have the conversation to say that he potentially hurt her feelings. I don't get that. But he comes in and she starts being passive aggressive with him. She says that he tried to embarrass her on national TV by saying that she was born, and you didn't try to embarrass him on national TV by calling him out his name. Like, Sienna, girl, the back and forth that you do, or the things that is okay for you to do but not okay for him to do, like, you got to work on that, honey. She asked him what he told Millie last night. He says some of it was private, but they were also just talking about the situation. And she is still bothered by the conversation. She says that it's like me talking to Greg and then not telling you what we talked about. Girl, but y'all did the same thing. Y'all just had this discussion. So y'all just went to vent to talk to other couples about it. Like, that's it. I don't know why Sienna is making such a big deal out of this. But Millie and Greg, they're downstairs. They're talking about Brandon and Sienna. Greg thinks that they need to get it on. Again, why do y'all think sex is the answer? Because that's not. That is only a band-aid to cover up whatever real root issue it is going on with the couples. Back upstairs, Sienna just keeps going on, is asking him what he said to Millie. She is at this point popping off about it. She's like, don't be on my bed. What are you talking about? Is you talking about me? And like Brandon said, he's damned if you do, he's damned if you don't. Because at this point, she already has it made up in her head, I believe, that he was talking negatively about her. And while I thought Brandon probably could have just said whatever the conversation was about, Sienna also cannot be so insecure or so just aggressive that you just blow everything out of proportion. Like, if y'all had a real situation that came up, if you blow these little things out of proportion, I don't know what you would do with a real situation of y'all occurring in y'all's relationship. Like, y'all would not make it at all. We back at Aaron and Diamond. He is done sucking her toes. They're talking about Sienna and Brandon while Sienna continues to go off. Um, I don't. It's like Diamond and Aaron is like the parents of the group, and they see how the kids are behaving. Then they just kind of go talk about the kids, while getting it on a little bit themselves. But then they also just shaking their head at, look at the babies. They just don't know what to do with themselves. And then they just put their bonnet and their pajamas on and they go to bed. That's that's what I get. But at the end, we see Chris and Brandon is talking. Chris tells him that he needs to dead the whole thing because Sienna is so hot and cold with, the relationship that they just really don't need to entertain each other. Chris, I definitely 100% agree with you, but you're the last person that need to give advice to anybody, okay? Sienna is telling Shay what happened while Shay is cleaning the bathroom. Brandon tells Chris that he is checked out. Shay and Josh then come downstairs and talk to Brandon and Chris. Josh says that Sienna really likes him, but she is hurt and they just really need to reset. That's definitely confirming to me that Josh was in jail. Because do you see her? Do you see how she's acting? And you think this just needs to be a reset and everything will be cool and she really likes him? Delulu. No, no, no. Shay says that Sienna is hard around the edges, but she is sweet. But Brandon holds grudges. Why are y'all taking up for Sienna when she has been the one that has now gotten out of pocket, what, 2-3 times at this point? Why are y'all not holding her accountable for her behavior and acting like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Just let it go and start over. No, no, I, I am not down with that. And as they are talking, Sienna then comes downstairs and she still has the flowers that Brendan gave her on the first date, since that was only a few days ago. And she throws it at his feet. please let these two be next to leave the house. Like, I really want Brandon just to take the initiative and be like, you know what, this just ain't gonna work. And I'm volunteering myself a Tribune and I will leave the house. And then by default, that will make Sienna leave. Because at this point, y'all, it's really not gonna work for them. And this is not entertainment for me for them to continue to be on the show. But that's my thoughts. Let me know how y'all feel about the episode this week. And we'll be back to talk about the Never Ever Mets next week. Peace.